Lucasfilm has announced that the next Star Wars film we're getting in 2023 is titled Rogue Squadron. I'm, of course, elated by that idea, but a debate has already begun about when this film will take place, so I thought I'd weigh in. The official press release states the next Star Wars feature film will be Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins. The story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. The future era of the galaxy certainly seems like this story will take place after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, but not everyone is convinced. The logo for the movie, at least for now, seems to show a T-65 X-Wing, which is the model used by the Rebel Alliance, and people are debating that as well. It's kinda hard to tell if it's a T-65 or a T-70, the model used by the Resistance. Patty Jenkins also released a video about why she's so excited to direct this film that you should watch, it's fantastic, and she walks towards a Rebel-era X-Wing. I wouldn't put too much stock into promotional material right now. I imagine the logo is temporary, and the video was primarily for investors to see. It's not necessarily made for Star Wars fans to obsess over and dissect. We're 3 years out from this movie, so I doubt we're seeing final assets. I think it's best to go off what was actually said in the press release, that we're moving into the future era of the galaxy. And I do think that's for the best, and I'm basing that off one character and one character only, Wedge Antilles. If you read the X-Wing books or played the Rogue Squadron video games, you know that Wedge plays a major role in those stories. If Wedge has no role in the new movie, I will be able to get over it, but it would be a tough pill to swallow. He is the face of the regular soldier in the original trilogy, a reminder that there are heroes present in every major battle that aren't Luke, Han, Leia, or Chewie. There's a reason he has such a massive fandom all his own. So the idea that he could get some time in the spotlight has me very excited. The press release says it's all about a new generation of starfighter pilots earning their wings. That setup is very similar to the original X-Wing book by Michael Stackpole. Wedge reforms the squadron with a new group. I think that same basic setup could very easily be moved into a post-Rise of Skywalker setting where we have already seen Dennis Lawson return to play the character, if only for a brief moment. There are plenty of other ways Wedge could return too. I'm sure de-aging technology will be thrown around, but from a production standpoint, it makes the most sense to have Wedge appear as a mentor to a new group of fresh-faced pilots. Someone who knows the importance of the name Rogue Squadron and who can impart that into his new recruits. Someone who survived 4 major galactic battles in the movies and countless more in between to pass the torch to this new generation. That said, I still really hope he gets to fly. It was fine seeing him in the Falcon at Exegol, but he belongs in an X-Wing. My biggest question is, if this movie does take place after Episode 9, who will we see as the villains? Is the First Order completely gone? My guess is no. The end of The Rise of Skywalker implied a galaxy free from their oppression, but in the same way the Battle of Endor wasn't the true end of the Galactic Civil War, the Battle of Exegol might not be the end of whatever we're calling the First Order War. Maybe we could finally see Coruscant in the sequel trilogy era. The X-Wing books even involved Rogue One infiltrating the planet to take down its defenses, allowing for a larger New Republic attack. We could see something similar, although I should point out that Patty Jenkins has a quote about the books and video games. We're doing something original with great influence from the games and the books. There's a lot of things being acknowledged and understood about the greatness of all those things, but yes, it's an original story and I'm so psyched to do it. So don't expect any direct adaptation of events from previous stories. I'm just spitballing and speculating right now. That said, I wouldn't mind at all if some familiar faces were moved into this new era. Corran Horn, Oral Quirg, maybe, Gavin Darklighter. I'm not expecting any of those characters to have significant roles in the story. I think it's smarter to go in an all-new direction, honestly, but it would be fun to have some references to their names or something. On top of the film, I'm hoping this Rogue Squadron announcement means we could open the floodgates a little bit. Rogue Squadron has barely been mentioned in the new canon, despite being a very big part of the old expanded universe. I thought that was strange, but now it makes a lot of sense. They were saving them for something big. Got it, and I'm very much on board. But in the past few months alone, we've started hearing more about them. Star Wars Squadrons has a mention of a secret mission Hera sent them on. Jason Fry wrote Wedge's story, and from a certain point of view, The Empire Strikes Back that explained why Rogue Squadron became Red Squadron again in Return of the Jedi. If the movie is set to take place after The Rise of Skywalker, I think there's plenty of room for tie-in material in the post-Return of the Jedi part of the timeline. Then we can have even more of Wedge's story, and I think Legends content already proved that Star Wars fans like me will eat those stories up. But I also don't want to get greedy. I'm a pilot fanboy, so I'm fine with being inundated with pilot stories. I know that's not the case for everyone. Regardless, I'm sure we can expect some tie-in books and comics, so I would love to see Michael Stackpole return to writing Star Wars. Jason Fry did a wonderful job with his short story earlier this year. Alexander Freed has been knocking the Alphabet Squadron books out of the park. And not only did Janine K. Spendlove write a Star Wars short story a few years back, but she is also a pilot in the Marine Corps. I'd love to see any of them tackle a Rogue Squadron book or comic. We're still 3 years away from this film, but I could not be more excited about it. I look forward to covering any and every new detail we get. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all of our Star Wars coverage, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.